Let me ask you this. I've got a bunch of pictures here, Gilbert. I'm going to show you some of them, and you can tell me what is that picture right there?
Boy. Let me tell you. Oh, this is a great story. This lady here was named Rose Sinclair. She lived down next to the last block on Laurel Street with her daughter. And so I'm Sunday school superintendent, so you know that I want to get all the people to Sunday school I can get, but I want to get them in Sunday school regardless of what I was, because I love the Sunday school. And so this dear lady made one of the greatest contributions that I've ever seen anybody do. Anybody. I thought we had some people who did some great things in that church, and they did. But this lady, I thought, kind of topped it all. She canvassed from the 400 block law of which that church was located, just down to the river. And every Sunday morning you'd see this beautiful sight, this little lady coming on up Laurel Street. And it was anywhere would be from 8 to 12 children to bring the Laurel Street Sunday School. And this is their 100th anniversary. And this young man named Gilbert Ferguson, then he was young, and he said, he's got to do something. He's got to remember this lady. She's been outstanding. She's done more than anybody. She's brought children up there. That's the heart of the Sunday school. And so I went to the Methodist Publishing House and got the best gold tin I could buy. And this is the day that we had the 100th anniversary, this Sunday. And I called Miss Sinclair up and presented her this love gift from Wall Street Sunday School. And the next part of this story, the climax, is I go down and drink coffee with 3 gentlemen, or 2 gentlemen every morning, almost every morning, 4 mornings out of 7 maybe. And one morning one of them said something about Laurel Street, and his name was Sinclair. This has only been 4 months ago, fellows. And I went upstairs, and I got to thinking, and the next day I said something, and he said something about Laurel Street. I said, did your mother know anybody on Laurel Street named Ms. Landray that had the family that the children had the muscular dystrophy? He said, yeah, my mother was over there often to help that lady. I said, I'm meeting her son 56 years later at Imperial Plaza. Parson, thank you for giving me that privilege.
Now let me ask you about something else. That picture was taken in the basement, wasn't it, Gilbert?
Yes, sir.
And that's that new tile floor and
that's
all and one of the new light fixtures right up there at the top.
Yeah, that's it.
There's another interesting part of this same story is that man, what was his son's name, first name?
Frank.
Frank's sister, whose name was also Rose, died back in December, and I had the privilege of conducting her funeral. And when she died, Frank's daughter called me up and said, do you happen to know anything about a gold pen that my grandmother had that Rose may have now? And I said, well, I'm sure you'll find it when you go through the things in her home. And that lady's granddaughter wore that pen to both her aunt's funeral, and then when Frank died back in January of this year,
January.
she wore that same pen that you are pictured there giving her grandmother to his funeral.
Yeah, Miss Bailey.
So that story lives on, along with a lot of others.
It does, and this man that I met 56 years later died at a family dead on the 16th of January.
Well, you and he had connected again, and what a wonderful story.
This is a great story. I just thank God to being able to participate in things like that. And
let me have that a minute, Gilbert. I'm going to give you all these pictures later.
We got a man.
But tell me about this one right now. The picture that you are there presenting the portrait, Solomon's Head of Christ.
This is Willie Adams. He was this one here. I can't give you much information on. I see my cousin standing back there, and I see the minister standing in the back. My mind, and this is Rosa Gasser. The picture was presented to Rosa Gasser. That's who that picture was presented.
And that's you there presenting as a part of the 100th?
No, that wasn't part of the 100th anniversary. That was another time later there. This was, I believe this was after that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Who is this gentleman right here? I know that there's got to be some stories about him and behind him.
This was one of the most loyal, dedicated sextons that the church ever had. His name was Clayton Scott. And he was always there. And I would be so concerned in the wintertime about that coal furnace back there on Saturday nights that I would go back around now to see things was all right. And many times I would find Clayton Scott. But I hardly ever went there that I didn't see him. And he was a very soft-spoken, he was a good family man, I understand. And he worked at Law Street Church until he couldn't work anymore. He was just a loyal and dedicated man. You got something you'd like to add to that?
You're quite right.
In case, just for the record, Tom Edwards is sitting off to the side, and so Gilbert will look over to him for some advice once in a while.
That's one of my long-time, he's one of my long-time proteges over there. And the longer I live, it's like crabgrass growing. I just keep on loving him. He's been, fellows, he was just as solid in 1948 about Law Street Church as he is this one today. And I thank God for him. He knows how I feel. I've told him.
Let me ask
and I
you
want
about,
to tell the other one here.
Ron
that I
Ragland
love
is
him
also
too.
here. Let me ask you about this picture, Gilbert. Is that a picture of the centennial celebration service?
Yeah, this is a picture that morning of that Raleigh man, and you got all the Methodist conference that day, you know, the big wheels of the Methodist conference. And this is our choir across the top. And this was just absolutely one of a day. I went down, I had a Jewish friend that was run out of Germany, or got out of Germany without being killed during the war. And he was one of the most intelligent people that I've ever met. He was a money changer in Hamburg, Germany. And some friend got him over here, and he brought him to the bakery. And of course he had a hard time speaking English. And he to give him a job, and I gave him a job, and he turned out to be but the best cashier Continental Bake Company ever had. Anyway, he had this friend was a photographer downtown, so I went down and got him to come up and spend the day at Laurel Street Church. And we made these pictures, and I sold them for $1.25 a piece, the big ones, in order to pay for the photographer. I was still trying to make money, fella.
The other picture I want to show you about that day is a picture that evidently was taken after the service out in front of the church.
Oh, I want to cry. These was my people. This was my Sunday school fellow. I'm sorry. These are the people that helped young Ferguson be what he is. And that guy's over there, he's in this picture. And some of his family, and my family, and my dear wife and little boy. I tell you, this picture, I will just cherish. These were my people. Thank you so kindly, Father.
Well,
Thank you for bringing these pictures out and giving me an opportunity to express my love and kindness to the people at Laurel Street Methodist Church.
Okay, well, there's one more I want you to look at. And I think that's you right at the top there, so I think you will know which one that one is, too.
You got it. This is 19. You would be in this one. This is 1948. You remember Dick Kimler, the Sunday school superintendent, when you came there? Well, here he is, and he died with the cancer. And I was assistant superintendent, and I became superintendent. And I declare, thanks again, boss, and thank you so much.
Okay, he needs to switch discs now. If you need to stand up and stretch or anything, do that.